The Wild West, also known as the American frontier, began around 1803 during westward expansion after the Louisiana Purchase. Settlers then moved into unexplored territories seeking new opportunities, particularly gold and land. This era was formed by lawlessness, rugged individualism, and conflict. The Wild West era saw the introduction of cowboys and cattle ranching, which became part of American culture, as well as the rise of frontier towns like Dodge City and Deadwood. One of the key events in this era was the California Gold Rush, which began in 1848, when gold was discovered at Sutter's Mill by James W. Marshall. News of the discovery spread quickly, bringing around 300,000 people from across the U.S., dramatically changing the state's demographic and economic landscape. Prospectors, known as 49ers, traveled by land and sea to the goldfields hoping to strike it rich. However, while a few found fortunes, many faced hardships, harsh conditions, and stiff competition. The gold rush contributed to California's rapid growth, leading to its statehood in 1850 and spurred advancements in transportation, infrastructure, and commerce. Though the gold eventually dwindled, the gold rush left a lasting legacy on the region, transforming it into a bustling economic hub. Moving on to another big event in the Wild West, the gunfight at the OK Corral, which took place on October 26, 1881 in Tombstone, Arizona, is one of the most famous shootouts in American history. The showdown involved the Earp brothers, consisting of Wyatt, Virgil, and Morgan, along with their friend Doc Holliday, squaring off against members of the Clanton and McClory families. Tensions had been rising between the two groups due to cattle rustling, law enforcement disputes, and personal rivalries. The Earps were lawmen in Tombstone, while the Clanton and McClory families were known as outlaws, with a reputation for cattle theft and clashes with the law. On the fateful day, both sides met near the OK Corral after Virgil Earp, the town marshal, tried to disarm the cowboys, suspecting they were armed and causing trouble. The gunfight lasted only about 30 seconds, with around 30 shots fired. When the dust settled, Billy Clanton and both McClory brothers were dead, while the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday survived, although Virgil and Morgan were wounded. Though the Earps and Holliday were initially charged with murder, they were eventually acquitted, as the court ruled they had acted within their duties as lawmen. The gunfight became legendary in American culture, symbolizing the lawlessness and violence of the Old West. It has since been immortalized in books, films, and popular history as one of the West's most iconic moments. Now, coming to the biggest heist in the Wild West, it is often considered to be the Wilcox train robbery, which took place on June 2, 1899. A group of 6 masked men held up a Union Pacific Flyer train in Wyoming just after it crossed a small bridge. The robbers used dynamite to collapse the bridge and prevent another train from following. They also used dynamite to blow open the train's safe and baggage cars, making off with about $50,000, which would be equivalent to around $7 million today. The robbers were part of Butch Cassidy's Hole in the Wall gang, though at the time there were multiple theories about their identities. Despite a wild manhunt and several shootouts, they managed to escape. The heist remains one of the most famous robberies of the Old West. If there are any other Wild West stories you are interested in, tell us in the comments.